crash and burn. Who knows? Everybody out there watching, come along for that ride with me. We're just chilling tonight. We're just hanging out, talking some violence. Y'all having a good night? What the fuck is up, everybody? Welcome to Seth Grimes Live. We are vibing here on a Thursday night. Just chilling, trying something new, just putting out a little bit of extra content for people to enjoy. I'm hanging out here with you. I think I can see your chats. If anybody chats, go ahead and chat in, but we got some topics here we're going to talk about here tonight. I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody's staying safe, especially those in California. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Do it before you even watch, because it doesn't matter if I'm good or not. Just do it. Do it if you enjoy the show. We're gonna have some fun. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, feel free to hang out. Let's go ahead and take a look at our first topic here today. This is going to be exciting. We have over here Mark motherfucking Zuckerberg has announced that he is going to limit censorship on the internet, on his Facebook, on all meta platforms. It's going to be on Facebook. That's going to be on Threads, and of course Instagram. Mark Zuckerberg. This is kind of a 180 for the Zuck. He was definitely at the forefront of censorship during the whole pandemic era that we all had to live through, that fucking nightmare of about 2 years where everything was locked down and everybody went crazy on the internet. Of course, Mark Zuckerberg was at the forefront at censoring anything that was posted online that contradicted anything or even questioned anything at all. You could almost say that he was sort of partisan. Now, I wouldn't go as far to accuse him of that, but, use your own brains on that one. And as a matter of fact, on the Joe Rogan experience, he basically said that the government had coerced him to censor things in the form of the Russian information that was, the leaks that were coming from Russia, the Russian disinformation. So he was told to keep an eye out for that and to censor it when it comes. There's also word that the government had backdoor access to these social media platforms, including Twitter at the time, where they could just kind of go in and censor anything that they want free, willy-nilly. Well, not in Trump's America, ladies and gentlemen, because no more did Trump get elected 1 month later, or 2 months later, whatever the fuck it is. Mark Zuckerberg has done a 180, and he's turned around and he's kissed the pinky ring. And he said, okay, no more censorship. In fact, we have the Zuckerberg here. I'm going to play a little bit of this. I don't know how much, but if you haven't seen it, just to kind of give you a feel for it here.
I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people.
This guy's a robot, right? Like, he's a robot from the future. He clearly is. Or an alien. He's not a human being, folks. You know, I have my questions about if Elon's an actual human being either. I think all these tech bros are like future alien people who just kind of fucking were able to time travel back and help create all the technology that's going to help build their AI fucking overlord world in the future. He's just not a real person. Look at that guy's eyes, but he's getting swole. Look at him. Word is that he's been doing like MMA training and stuff like that too. So Mark Zuckerberg could probably kick your ass. How's that make you feel? Let's see what else he has to say here.
And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship.
Right.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
There you go.
More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US.
Okay.
After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months,
how do you guys feel about that? I am a free speech absolutist. I'm basically a libertarian. Kind of came up under the Ron Paul tutelage, if you will, if you're kind of wondering. So basically a leave me the fuck alone kind of guy. And I don't like being censored. Now, you don't go on the internet and just fucking make threats. You know, you can't threaten to like murder somebody or anything like that. And you shouldn't actively try to disinform as a form of propaganda. People do. Everybody does. Everybody's got a grift, right? So that's going to happen no matter what. But in general, people should be able to have their opinions without the overlords going, I don't agree with that. Blah, blah. And then you got the Karens who have felt emboldened with, the government forcing their hand on censorship. You got all the Karens that are like, I'm going to report you. You can't do that on my blah, 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 blah. And, I come from the day of like Woodstock 99, where it's like, fuck you, I won't do what you told me. You know what I mean? Like, even though, Rage Against the Machine even ended up selling out to the, corporate machine after a while. But that's kind of where I stand on it. Fuck censorship. I am a free speech absolutist to an extent. So I shouldn't say an absolutist, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you should be able to have opinions. If I want to say that maybe JFK was assassinated by the CIA, I shouldn't have my YouTube video kicked off the internet and that post taken off Facebook. You know what I'm saying? That should stay there so that maybe people can come in and be like, well, no, actually, there's a lot of facts that say the John Wilkes Booth. No, John Wilkes Booth. He killed Lincoln. What's the guy's fucking name? I'm live, so it's gonna make me go blah, 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 like on the tip of my tongue. But the Oswald, Lee Harvey Oswald. So you know, you could come in and present all the facts that that's what happened. And then other people can come in and be like, well, actually, grassy knoll. So it's, that debate is healthy too. People can learn from that. People don't learn from that. People just argue with each other and fight and bitch and do internet-y things. But obviously that discussion should be allowed without the government overlords or the tech bro overlords deciding we don't want you talking about that. Just shush.
We're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms.
Yeah, you should absolutely be able to, as I just said, share your opinions. He fucking nailed it. Now, that could get hairy. I mean, people don't like X because of that Wild West feel to it. There's a lot of people that are just kind of sensitive nowadays, and they don't like to be on the internet and have people yelling at them or voicing other opinions that make their feelings all feely and stuff. So, but I mean, it could become a Wild West, but I think that it's in the Constitution. It's the First Amendment, and I think they need to honor that.
Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower-severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back...
Yeah, blame it on the filters all you like, Zuck, but, you know, you basically said that the government pressured you to censorship. He specifically mentioned the laptop. I wonder if I could actually pull that up here, because the government told him to do it. And at that point, he's just being dictated to by the fucking oligarchy here. So, all in all, this is a good thing. Oh, there's my live stream. Zuckerberg, Rogan, censorship. Let's see what we got here.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
When we take down something that we're not supposed to, I mean that is like, I mean that's the worst. I mean
how
that's
do you
like
discern?
Look how swole he got compared to
Like how, like
he was a
say
little
like
nerdy
these
boy
Christian
right there.
Facebook pages. I don't know how they found out that 19 of 20 were fake, but if someone just says I am Bob Smith and they post as Bob Smith and they have a photograph but really what they're doing is trying to talk shit about Joe Biden and get people to come to this conclusion.
prevalence is one thing, but I think that but we want to make sure that we sort of have like an identity for that person on file, so that way we know, like at least behind the scenes, that that person is real.
An identity. Jesus Christ.
The things that I really wanted to talk to you about is this, because like to be in your spot must be insanely difficult. To have, no matter what decision you make, you're going to have a giant chunk of people that are upset at you. And there might be a right way to handle it, but I don't know what the fuck right way is.
Well, I think the right way is to establish principles for governance that...
Okay, fair enough. So, Mark motherfucking Zuckerberg, yeah, I'm all for it. This is a good move, and this is just a sign of the times that all the kind of wokeism and the censorship and the cramming control down your throat has kind of reversed course all of a sudden. You know, the country very specifically moved a certain direction, and with that, it's coming with a whole new era attitude, essentially, or an attitude era, if you will, for my wrestling fans watching. Let's talk about another topic here that, in my opinion, very sad. Let's move on over to this LA fire situation. This breaks my heart, dude. Hopefully, I don't know if anybody is listening in or will listen to this that's in California or has family there or friends, or it's just fucking awful what's going on there. There's multiple fires going on in...
Here on the left, buildings on Marathon Road, Altadena. You can see the swimming pools, people's ordinary homes, ordinary lives. All of that completely changed, completely decimated. Ordinary, typical home. Left, we can see Fair Oaks Avenue, the same place. Still intact. One of them, definitely, still.
Shit's wiping out towns. It's doing damage on a mass scale. It's spreading. So what happened with these wildfires? It started with a house fire, apparently, and because of just really strong, like very strong winds going on in the area, and the dryness that, you know, they've had a strong drought, and they have not done a good job of clearing their brush either. As a matter of fact, they cut the funding for the brush cleanup there, and that actually caused the insurance companies to cancel their policies. So when you're hearing that insurance companies are canceling policies on homeowners insurance out there just a week before these wildfires happen, it's because the city canceled the funding for the cleanup. And with the drought and all that shit, they knew, hey, this is, you know, it's not like California hasn't had wildfires in the past. But this is just on the absolute worst scale that it could ever possibly be. This could potentially just rage on, because with these strong winds and these fires all over the place, that's how they're spreading. It's just the wind's taking these goddamn, let's see here, wildfire. The wind's just spreading this stuff all over the city. Of course, there's going to be ads. Fuck that. Never mind. It's terrifying. I've seen there's video of people inside their homes, like watching the fire, like blowing all around them. Like they're inside a fucking fire tornado, a firestorm, a literal firestorm. And there's nothing more horrifying than that. There's people who have reported, you know, they've had to flee and they've left pets behind that are confirmed gone. There was somebody that sat in some of the footage somewhere along the way. There appeared to be a skeleton showing. Like charred remains of a body. There's 5 confirmed dead last I heard. There's probably more that just haven't been reported. But it's just a mess. And then the fire hydrants are getting overloaded, so they're not all able to pump water anymore. So the shit's just burning. The shit's just burning wild. It's gonna continue to happen. It's gonna continue to happen there. It's a dry area. You can't just pick up the seawater and dump it in. I mean, you could, technically, but they're so goddamn obsessed with the environment over there. That's why they don't want to clear any of the brush. It's a habitat for creatures, perhaps, you know. God knows if the tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it and it's hollowed out a little bit, a fucking little squirrel could be storing some nuts in there. A raccoon and his little raccoon babies could be in there. We can't go in there and remove little baby raccoons' home. We would rather spend that money on homeless people or something. So let's just cut that program, and then the insurance companies get a whiff of that and go, oh, so there's a drought and you have a history of wildfires, and now you just cut your funding to clear out your brush that's gonna allow that to just travel and tear through the city. Yeah, we're pulling out. And a lot of people are really upset with the insurance companies over that. And I don't blame you, because, I mean, it sounds like a really, like a callous, heartless thing to do. It's the kind of stuff that gets, like, people shot on the streets of New York City. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why. But this situation in particular, you almost, I mean, think about it rationally. Like, they're not a charity. The insurance companies aren't charities. Yes, you're paying into them and stuff. I get that. It's a big break. But what are they supposed to do when they know that the conditions for catastrophic fires are imminent and nobody's doing anything to stop any of it over there in California? It's just horrible. It's horrible all around. My heart goes out to everybody involved in that. It's a nasty mess, and it appears to be one of the worst ones, you know. It was, what, just a couple years ago, the skies were orange over there because of this kind of shit. Get it together, man. Get it together. Moving on to the next subject here. BloodyDisgusting.com has the news. Kevin Williamson confirms that filming on Scream 7 has begun. Boom, there's the clipboard for it. That'd be a sweet souvenir, wouldn't it? Take that bitch home. With a post to his official Instagram account tonight, Scream 7 director Kevin Williamson has announced that filming on the franchise's new installment is currently underway. Williamson, who of course wrote the original Scream for Wes Craven and now finds himself in the Scream director's chair for the first time ever, writes on Instagram tonight, I am not supposed to post about Scream, and I hope Spyglass and Paramount will forgive me, but when you have one of the best days of your life, it's really hard to keep it to yourself. What an extraordinary day I had working with an amazing and talented cast and crew. They brought their A game and had my back every step of the way. I'm so very grateful for this opportunity, and to Wes Craven, who was on my mind through it all. The profound impact he had on my life and career is endless. What a day. I can't wait. Stay tuned for so much more Scream motherfucking 7. What are your thoughts on Scream 7? So I don't know how familiar you are or have been with the Scream franchise, but they had done a reboot in 2022 with Scream, just like a remake, but it wasn't a remake. It was like a requel, like they've been doing like with Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all that, where it's like kind of a reboot, but it's also loosely a sequel or like still connected to that original world. And they just kind of decided that they were gonna make a play off of that, like Scream always does. It plays off of sequels, plays off of trilogies. So it's It was a good movie when it first came out. I liked it. It had Jenna Ortega in it before she was super famous, before she hit that Wednesday peak fame, and I think it was even before she was in X and some of her other bigger projects. I liked it. I thought Melissa Barrera was the other co-star, and it still had Sydney, Nev Campbell. It still had Courtney Cox, Gail, and it still had Dewey, poor Dewey. No spoilers, but he gets absolutely brutally murdered. I mean, the movie's 3-4 years old. Fuck off. But he gets, very brutal murder. Supposedly by a little girl. I have my thoughts on that. We'll talk about that in a second here. But they introduced, like, this new group, a new cast. It was almost like a passing of the torch from Sydney to Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, who play sisters. Melissa Barrera played the estranged daughter of Billy Loomis, of all people. And then her mother married another guy, and the father, they got married, and the other daughter with that marriage is Jenna Ortega. So they're like half sisters. But that's what brings the killer back, is because Melissa Barrera is related to Billy Loomis. And that movie was really good. It had its flaws, but all the Scream movies do, except for the first one. The first one's possibly the greatest horror movie of all time ever. I think it's got to be on the Mount Rushmore of horror movies, at least, if it's not the best ever. Certainly one of. It had its flaws, but it was a good movie. Then they did a sequel, like, almost immediately the next year that went to New York City. And it was great. They had, like, a... they did some stuff out on the streets, and they were up in, like, apartment buildings, and it was just, they had, like, a New York vibe to it. They brought a New York vibe to it. But it was kind of, like, I would say the first 2 acts of that movie were great, and then the third act just shit the bed. It was just the reveal of the killers. It was kind of obvious, but also really poorly done and just stupid. And then there was, like, a couple non-believable killers or parts to it, but they had some good concepts in there. There was, like, a museum of, like, all the ghost-faced killer masks from, like, the evidence lockers and stuff, which was also a stretch, because how are you gonna actually get all that stuff? But then going into, again, this new group of people. Sydney wasn't even in this. Like I said, the previous one, it was a pass the torch. They didn't need her in this one. Gail still was, and she still lived, of course, because everybody lives, except for poor Dewey in the last one. R.I.P. But then, so it was, they established this core 4. It's Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera, and then their 2 buddies. Mason Gooding, and I don't remember the other chick's name. I'm sorry, but she's cool as fuck. She was related to what the fuck's his name? Related to the guy from, the goofy guy from the first movie. So then all of a sudden there was a controversy over the fucking the cast of that original movie. Sorry, I was still trying to think of the name. There was a controversy over the actress Melissa Barrera, because she had made some comments about Palestine and Israel and stuff like that, and it just rubbed the studio the wrong way, and we're like, well, fuck her, and we're taking her off the show. So then I don't know if that caused a delay, but Jenna Ortega promptly was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to nope out of this movie too. She was already contractually obligated to it, but it was like they moved the date or something. So she used that as I'm sorry, I'm not going to be available for that anymore. So both Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera noped out of that. Well, Melissa Barrera was kicked off of Scream, and then Jenna Ortega was removed herself. So what the fuck? So then they go crawling back to Sydney, and rumor was for part 6 that Neve Campbell wanted more money to be in it. They didn't just write her off of the movie after the passing of the torch. They still probably asked her to be in it, but she wanted more money. And they just said, no, we don't feel like you're worth it to us at that price point. And to be quite honest, you could go two different ways with this. Because one, you could say she's OG triple, right? She's a legend. She has earned every goddamn penny, carrying this franchise on her back. The other way you could look at it is, bro, you've survived for 6 movies now? A killer is coming after you every single time, a different person every single time, which is kind of disbelievable in itself. Just the same, we're just gonna, another Scream killer, another Ghostface, the Ghostface killers are happening again. My God. And they keep coming after poor Sydney, and she keeps her, Gail, Dewey, all of them. It's just fucking, we all live all the time, always, except for Dewey, rest in peace. But now they had this core 4 that survived 37,000 stabs each of them, just fucking stab, just fucking pin cushioning them, and then they're all like, yeah, I'm fine, it's good, no, hey, made it. Core 4, baby. No, but I kind of got attached. Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega grew on me, obviously, from the first one. By the second one, Jenna Ortega was a box office star, so easily you could say, as the studio, look, Neve Campbell, you've been in all of these movies, it's great, but like, it's kind of played out at this point. And look, Jenna Ortega's quite frankly a bigger star than you. She's pretty huge, and as long as we got her on board, we don't really need you to carry this franchise anymore. We got Jenna Ortega, the Golden Girl, right? Who's phenomenal, by the way. I love me some Jenna Ortega. She's great. Fuck you. But when she left and Melissa Barrera was out, they had to go back to Sydney. And I guess they just backed the fucking Brinks truck up to the back of her house and hooked her up. So she's in this movie again. I hope she dies. Forgive me. I know. Unpopular opinion. Everybody loves their Scream Queen, but I hope she dies. It's just been so much. She's played out to me. It's been on too long. It's not believable that there's been this many new killers. Like how many Ghostfaces, like how many John Wayne Gacy's, like, oh, John Wayne Gacy went to prison. Oh, there's a new clown killer. Oh, and then that guy went to prison or got killed. Oh, there's another new clown killer taking up the mantle. Like, it's so, right? Like, how unfathomable would that be? It'd be weird, wouldn't it? And then the same girl survives every single time. The same 2 girls survive every single time. Gail, too? Both of them gotta go. I want to see them both die. Fuck you both. Die. Diddy die. Nev's daughter is going to be in this. Not her real life daughter. The characters. Sydney's daughter is going to be a character. Mason Gooding is going to be a character in this movie, who is one of those core 4. So they're not even pivoting completely from one story to the other. I don't know how that's going to work. I would guess maybe they kill him off in the opening scene. That's probably what I would do. You're not getting Melissa Barrera back. You're not getting Jenna Ortega back. The other girl's pretty sweet. Mindy, what's Mindy? Mindy, I don't know. I can't think of her other name. I'm still trying to think of it. She's cool. She should be in the movie too, but it sucks that the Core 4 thing didn't take off. A lot of people don't like the Core 4 thing, but they grew on me, and I see a lot of other people that say they did too. So fuck Neve Campbell. I hope she dies. But the big thing, and we're going to wrap up this segment here on Scream with this, Stumacher. Surprise, Sydney. Oh, that's what I want to see. There's been rumors and speculation. The internet has run wild, brother. That's probably a horrible reference to do right now, right? untimely. The internet has been running wild with speculation about Stu Macher possibly still being alive. This stems from Stu was going to actually be alive in a previous script. I don't know if it was for Scream 2 or for Scream 3. An early draft of the script. And Stu was going to have lived. So, the rumor now is that Stu survived. And secretly, I don't know why, maybe like a witness protect. I don't know. They'll explain it to you. But Stu lived and was put into prison, and they just like covered it up. Like they never told anybody that he was still alive, kind of thing. Like maybe the police know. And there's two hints at that. One with Dewey, who does not speak of Stu Macher in the past tense when he's asked about Stu. He says something to the effect of, when he asked about Stu, he's like, he's a, and then the cop character in part 6, I believe, also maybe said something to the effect that leaves that to question. They've also teased around on it. There's the Mindy character in the last 2 movies. She had made a comment that he might still be alive, I think with Hayden Panettiere's character. I think they were having that discussion. And then there was also, I think, a screen capture of like when they were showing YouTube reviews of Stab. Like when they show like here. Like in your recommended or whatever, when you're watching, you go to watch one, and then over to the side of the screen,
Paleo Valley. They have a chocolate bone broth protein. I'm not making this up. Tastes like chocolate donuts. It's incredible. No artificial sweeteners.
About anyway.
Bone broth protein, which is rich in collagen, is very easy to digest. So if you find protein powders cause bloating or digestive issues,
nice flow here. But they had over in that screen as well speculation that Stu is still alive. So in my opinion, Stu, there's the Zuck. In my opinion, Stu is still alive. I really believe he is. I hope he is. Part of it's just hope and copium, but also Matthew Lillard's been busy as fuck lately. He's been back out doing the movie scenes with the Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff. He's been doing conventions as well. He's been doing podcast interviews. He's really out in the public eye. And he has even stated that he has a movie this year that he's filming for. But he didn't say what it was. Or he said he had another movie. Because he's also finishing up Five Nights at Freddy early this year. Or has already finished up Five Nights at Freddy's. So though he is not announced, obviously, to be in the cast, as he would be a surprise, I think it's very likely at this point. And I would say outright criminal. I know there's a large contingency of people out on the internet that want Stu to be dead, and a large contingency of people that don't want to see any kind of storyline with him coming back. But in my opinion, you have to bring Stu back. It's just a great story. It's all there. It all writes itself. And the rumor was it would be related to him being a behind-the-scenes leader of some kind, setting all this up. And another thing is, if you look at it in trilogy form, the third movie was the puppet master, the guy, Roman. He had said, Sidney's brother had said that he set up the killers in the first 2 movies. So is Stu going to be revealed in Scream 3 or Scream 7 to be the puppet master behind Scream 5 and 6? time will tell, because also in Scream 5, the killers met on a chat room, met somewhere on the internet. Where? What forum? Who? With who? Doing what? And they also said one of the girls lived in Stu's old house. She said, when I found out I was living in this old house. Now, that's easy to find out. If you look up the address or something, that could be common knowledge. But also maybe somebody there told her, hey, that's my house that you're living in. Who knows? But I'm excited to see it. Hopefully they do good with it, because I thought the last movie was a bit of a letdown. And now with all this kerfuffle over the actors and shit like that, who knows what we could be in for here. But I'm excited. Here we go, baby. Look at this. Isn't that the biggest troll job in the history of planet Earth right there? In the history of any kind of anything, politics, leaders, anything like that? Who does shit like this? Donald Trump is out trolling everybody right now. That's what he's doing. It's a troll job. Donald Trump he's coming for Greenland. He's coming for the Panama Canal. He's coming for Canada. He's coming for the Gulf of Mexico. He's coming for it all. Of course, this is ridiculous and preposterous. It's a troll job. I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump's just trolling. A lot of people, that's why they hate Donald Trump. They don't like a Donald Trump because he's a troll. President shouldn't be a troll. He should be presidential. I think it's funny. I don't know. Like, when you tell the Canada's president that you start calling the Canada's president the governor, I'll make you the 51st state. And then he just starts, like, everybody around Trump just starts referring to Trudeau up in Canada as Governor Trudeau. That's funny. Come on, man. You can't tell me that's not funny. It's such a troll job. In Mexico, so here's the deal with Mexico, right? Trump talked about doing the tariff gimmick on them and stuff. He's trying to get them to help out with the border. That's it. Not pay for the border wall. He's trying to help stop the drugs, stop the immigrants and stuff. So he wants them on board for that. Well, that chick that's in charge down there, she's very she's a stubborn lady. She wants to stand her ground, and she, Trudeau collapsed completely. He got buried up there. He got shut right down. It was he actually he resigned. Ugh. That's no good, right? But this chick, she's trying to play tough, and now she's like, well, we're gonna rename America the Mexican America or whatever she was talking about. All of this is just to troll the Gulf of America. People are losing their mind about this. In fact, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's an absolute clown, by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene, this senator, I don't like her at all. She's a nut job, absolute lunatic. But she is introducing a bill Thursday to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. What a troll job. The American people are footing the bill to protect and secure the maritime waters for commerce to be conducted. Our U.S. Armed Forces protect the area from any military threat, Green wrote in a thingamajobber there. She just wants... She's a suck up. She's a kiss ass. She probably means it. But Trump means it too. Don't get me wrong. Like, he would definitely rename that, and I think he might be able to. I don't know if that's... Yeah, I guess it's got to go through Congress, right? We'll see how that goes. I don't think it's got a good ring to it. I think it's a little silly, but I love it as a troll. But something that is not a troll You know, Canada's a troll. Mexico's a troll. He's fucking with these people because he's trying to get we're funding all their shit. That's just how he does. You know, he's trying to, it's all along the lines with the tariffs situation. But what is not a troll is Greenland. He is coming for that green land. Denmark technically has territorial rights, or at least they think they do, to Greenland. And they're not willing to give it up. They are not excited to part ways with Greenland. They said they're not parting with it. But, you know, that will be up to the people of Greenland to decide if they want to secede, or they want to go independent, or they want to become part of the United States, or become a territory like Puerto Rico. That's on them. Denmark really doesn't have a say, and it's not like they have any kind of, not like they can make us do anything. Now, why? What's even the point of all of this, though, right? Like, dude's not even in office already, and he's talking about taking over the globe. It's not a good look for the people that say he's literally Hitler, by the way. He's not going to do it militarily. I know he said he wouldn't rule it out, but that's just because he's a troll, and that's just because he's not going to show his hand or, frankly, rule anything out. You know, what if China sends their troops in to protect Mexico or something? You don't fucking know. They're sneaking their drugs in across our border, down through the Mexican border. But it's all a troll. But Greenland is not. There's a strategic point to it. Let's check in. I pulled up this clip from The Blaze. I don't know if y'all remember good old Glenn Beck here. Glenn Beck and Charlie Kirk. I love Glenn Beck. Look at that microphone. That's the best microphone. That's a pretty-ass microphone. I want that bitch. He's got Charlie Kirk on the phone, and they're going to talk about the strategic nature of this Greenland situation.
We were met by hundreds of people in MAGA hats in the streets of Nook, people that love America, that want to be part of America. And Don wanted to go, and I wanted to go also, to just learn what is Greenland's place in the world. You know, what does it have to offer? First of all, striking beauty. There's only one state that I think compares, and that would be Alaska. I mean, it's breathtaking, Glenn. You would love it. I mean, the pictures don't do it justice. I'm talking about untouched, serene beauty. That's number one. Number two, incredible natural resources that the current Danish government, who controls Greenland, does not allow locals to exploit or use or take advantage of. I'm talking about resources we might not even be aware of, but they have gold, they have rubies, they have oil, natural gas, just remarkable. And number three, which I think is
they have rare earth minerals. It is wildly, but you know, the problem is Denmark won't let them do anything. Well, the United States won't let Alaska do anything either. I mean, we're taking advantage of some of it, but you know, I think this is the best investment America could make in my lifetime. I think this would be a great investment, but it would take a Donald Trump to let us actually use it responsibly too.
Totally. And I mean, thankfully with President Trump, I think we'll get Anwar back in Alaska. And so, but what I also saw, though, is that the people of Greenland, they can't stand Denmark. They think that the Danes mistreat them, take advantage of them, and they want to be part of America. And if this deal were to be brokered, which, you know, just looking at now as a tourist coming there and back, I think it's totally possible, especially with President Trump coming in. This would be such a net benefit for the United States. For national security reasons, the Arctic is becoming an increasing hot center with China and Russia. We're seeing... And
Canada has let Russia just walk all over the Arctic Circle.
That's right. Exactly.
Well, there you hear it. Tons of resources available over here in Trumpland that Denmark's not letting them get at. And as good old white-haired Glenn said there, it is a matter of just not being allowed to do it, similar to the way we don't want to drill on our beautiful land. You know, so we'll buy oil from other countries instead of just drilling our own, which will come to an end here probably in 11 days. I would imagine by 12th day we're going to be back in the oil business. But look, I'm not... In my lifetime, I've never even considered... It literally has never even crossed my mind to expand our territory as a nation. Like, that's the kind of stuff you read about in the history books from dictators. And I did say it's Hitlerian, but it's also everybody. You know what I mean? Like, Rome expanded as far as they could expand till they got stretched too thin and then just died from within. But there's, you know, Genghis Khan, and again, it's not great to compare Trump to any of that. You know, listen, if he starts using military force to acquire land, that's time to speak up. I don't care who you voted for or what you support. That's a solid no-no. Unless, like, another, you know, let's say Russia comes in to try to help Denmark keep fucking, Russia starts lining up Navy ships in front of Trumpland and says, you're not getting over here. Okay, then, and that's why Trump didn't take that off the table, but I don't think we'll go there. But that's something to watch out for and be cautious for, and we're not standing for that shit. But look, if they want their independence, or better yet, if they want to be part of the United States, and maybe they don't, maybe they just want to be independent. Maybe they just want to exist as Greenland, as their own country. Certainly they could. They got a big enough landmass. Not that that's a prerequisite, but, like, yeah, easily could be their own country. But maybe they like, you know, everybody wants to come to America. They always have. There's something special about this place. The American dream, baby. Right? What if they want that? What if they do want that? Put it to a vote over there. That's the best way to do it. If they don't want to go, you know, put it as a three-way vote. Stay with the territory of Denmark. Complete independence. United States. And look, we could do a thing like we do Alaska. People in Alaska get paid by the government. You move to Alaska, you get, like, money. So if we're going to go in there and start digging for resources, they better get a gigantic chunk of that, like massive. Like, they better be just stupid rich in Greenland. And I'd be okay with that. If they want to come on over and they want to help make our country better by enriching us and allowing us access to their land and their elements and their resources, then let's make those people the very wealthiest nation on the entire planet. You know what I mean? Easily done. Easily done. Like the Saudis. Look, man, they just drill, baby, drill. And look how they're fucking drowning in money over there. No, the Saudis, like, as far as, like, they're, as a people, they're shitbags. But as far as, like, the way they run, like, their oil business, boom. You know, they're the richest country in the damn world. This will be interesting to see how it plays out. I know this scares a lot of people. If you see military get involved, be scared, be against it. No. But if Trump wants to push this and make a thing of it and start campaigning in Greenland, so to speak, and trying to win them over and sweet talk them into coming to the United States, why on earth would we be opposed to this? What's the harm in that? It's nothing but good. Nothing but good. As long as we don't take it by force. You know, what the fuck is who's Denmark anyway? Literally nobody cares about Denmark. What are they going to do? They're a mosquito, okay? They can get mad. I don't care if they get mad. Get mad, bro. That's insignificant. But other countries, Russia specifically, because they're right there in that area. They have said that they're going to keep a close eye on this attempt to move closer to their territory. I mean, Alaska pretty much touches Russia anyway, so what's the difference? You know what I mean? It's interesting. And the Gulf of America, just to wrap this up here, I think it sounds stupid. Gulf of Mexico is fine. I'm okay with it because we got New Mexico and whatever else. I really honestly think it's a troll job. I don't know if Marjorie Taylor Greene's little bill here, I don't know how serious this is. Or who, you know, was she pressured? Not pressured. Was she asked? Because she's definitely not going to need pressure. She's fucking MAGA, triple MAGA. You know what I mean? OG, triple OG. That's fucking sleeps on MAGA sheets in her MAGA pajamas and shit. You know what I mean? But I would think it's more of a troll, but we'll see how it all plays out. I'll leave it there. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next topic here. Marvel is rumored to be recasting Black Panther. Oh my fucking god. I'm so mad about this. They should have done this to begin with. Now is too late to do this. I'm sure it's not too late going into, I mean, any time before the multiverse storylines end, they can bring in a Black Panther from another. And that was my pitch all along, because we were in the multiverse era when Chadwick Boseman passed away. And then the speculation became, are they going to recast Black Panther? Black Panther was $1 billion movie. Black Panther 2, not so much. No Black Panther, though. It was just the fucking funeral of Black Panther and then Shuri becoming Black Panther. Yeah, fuck off and all that. That'll change, by the way. That's why they're looking at... Because they're trying, you know, they made the attempt to do all the females, replace everybody with strong female characters, and that shit the bed. So I think this is maybe their plan B, but this was my pitch all along. I did a short on it. It's in my shorts feed from at least a year, maybe 2 ago, where I just pitched, because we're in the multiversal era, just bring in a different T'Challa from another multiverse. Simple as that. Now, if this was all the same universe and you just want to say, oh, it's the same guy, but easily with the multiverse, that can explain away the different look. My actual pitch was to use Killmonger. Michael B. Jordan. Get him, tell a story somehow, maybe in Black Panther 3 now, that in a different universe, T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman was Killmonger and Michael B. Jordan was T'Challa. The roles were reversed. Michael B. Jordan was the Black Panther and Chadwick Boseman would have been Killmonger. They could easily just kind of explain it away like that and have him come in and be our main universe Black Panther. He would be accepted instantly. People already know him. People already like him. He already wore the goddamn suit and did the moves and wore the crown, in fact. He already was the Black Panther for a period of time in the first Black Panther movie. That would have been the way to go. Now they're looking to recast. Speculation is that it's Denzel Washington's son. I don't even remember what his face looks like here. Denzel. And Denzel Washington was cast in the next Black Panther movie, by the way, which leads to this John David. There we go. Let's see what this fool looks like. Okay. Well, that's a handsome fella. Look at that baby face there. I can see it. I don't know if he's got the yeah, he's got the build for it. I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it. Now's the time to do it. With the multiverse happening, it's easy to explain. You can tell your story, how this happened, and be able to make it make enough sense to where people won't care. And I think people want a Black Panther. This was a very divided topic, by the way. You know, there was a thing like, do we respect Chadwick Boseman, and we don't want to disrespect him by replacing him. Like, oh, well, he's dead. Let's just kick a little dirt on him and throw another guy in the suit and keep printing that money. You know, they really wanted to pause and acknowledge that. And they did. They did the funeral. So they could have their cake and eat it too by still bringing in another Black Panther from the multiverse. I'm sure that's exactly what they'll do. We'll get a Black Panther in Secret Wars, in Doomsday, perhaps. I think it's inevitable. I don't know why they didn't do it for the second one, but hey, maybe it does work out best that way. Take the second one to really mourn the loss of Chadwick Boseman, of T'Challa. Give it enough time, 5 years, 6 years, then you can think about bringing them back. Let's see what they do, but it looks like that's going to happen. All right, folksy folks, that's all I got for you here for this live stream. We made it through. I thought I had one more thing there, but that is all we got going. This was my first live stream. First time just out here with no net, just running wild, doing my thing. It's a little weird. It feels different being live. Just knowing that, like, oh, I can't remember that person's name. I can't just, like, pause and Google it, because now I'm wasting your time, you know what I mean? If anybody's watching the first stream or not. But this is the thing we're going to do. I don't know how often. Could be a weekly thing. Could be a monthly thing. Could just be when there's enough current events to talk about. But I've always really wanted to do something beyond just talking about wrestling all the time, and this would be trying to find the outlet for that was hit or miss, you know. But I think this could be a good little outlet for it. We'll fine tune it, play around with it, get a little smoother, get a little bit more practiced, and have some fun. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, kicking it on my channel. If you liked what you watched, please hit that subscribe button down below. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes. And we'll catch you in the next live stream. Yeah. We'll catch you in the next live stream.